Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is going to be my version of Sinzar's clear of Sinzar's rank 1 clear. As you can see, I'm not rank 1. I am rank 326 currently at the time this is recorded. And that's okay. Because the reality is doing his specific clear kind of requires a certain number of EX levels and on the right units to do it. I do not have that certain combination of EX levels, but what I want to show with this video is how you can take somebody's strategy and tweak it to what you have based on what gear you have available, what units you have available. I'm going to be using the exact same team, but they're going to be built a little bit differently because I don't have everything that he has, and I don't have all the EX levels that he has, but it still works. I can still perfect score what I'm doing. And for a while it was enough to have me in the low hundreds, but now my rank is steadily climbing up a little bit every day. Yesterday I finished my day in the like high 200s. Now I'm in the low 300s. If you don't have everything that somebody has, obviously it's hard to copy exactly and get the perfect score, but here it is, right? So this setup that I'm going to be doing, I can turn on all of the bulk mods and the HP lock, and that gets me to 245%, and still very survivable. Now this is the best combination that I can get. So 245, if I pick and choose here, 210, 215, yeah, 180. Like this is 25. Yeah, this is the best combination that I've come up with for what I could maybe do. Take off those 220. Yeah, see, it's still like 245 is still my best bonus. So this is the way to go with this particular setup. So the team is very, very similar to Sinzar's, but with a couple modifications. One is on my Chow that I do not have the Clash of Wills helmet fully unlocked to have dancers bonus on it, so I don't have the draw attacks and I don't have the provoke on, or the evasion on it. So I had to fix other ways to get the evasion in. I still have over 50% evasion, which is important, and with a buff I will have over 150 dark, earth, thunder, and fire. So there you go. That's the important thing. The rest of it, the really important thing on Chow for this strategy is Cypher's long coat, disciplined, the blizzard orb, and looming wrath. Beyond that, just get the resistances you need, and shift form is just built for as much damage bursting as I can. And I do have the Celestite diadem of will. I just don't have the upgraded version of it. So show you the stats here, the numbers. He's really only going to be in this form for 1 damage turn, 2 damage turns, and by then buffs will be in play for dark and thunder, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay. That 1 turn, and then the burst turn, he's like the boss just sits there. Kresnik, right? Shift form, I did put a little bit of I did put a conductor's baton on him just to get a little more morale, right? But I don't have it on the down form, or I don't have it on the base form just because I don't need it as much. By the time he's in his base form, the boss is done like doing the really crazy morale stuff. Laying is the same in both forms, just to have the evasion and the resistances that she needs. Lara is just wearing a couple weapons. She has the dodge in the base form, right? She's got dodge in the base form and damage form. She's maxed out on her killers and her and everything she needs. Only 50% here. That's okay, because the boss will have accuracy down. Right, same thing. We got a conductor's baton here just for a little bit more morale, and then damage. Okay, and then finally, Guy again, just built for damage. He does have a Tyvis's STMR, And because there's a couple people using Durandal, we have to use the active provoke skill from Chow, but that's not a big deal because it's useful for Chow to do that anyway. And then just build for damage, spirits, beasts and fairies. Not all the LB damage boost you can, but in my case, I do happen to have a Tifa card. I got this with the last shard dungeon, so she's looking pretty good now. What's giving us LB damage and beast killer. That's a big part of getting her to max. Okay, so here's how it's gonna kind of go. And I've done this a lot of times, so I'm doing it from memory, but it does work. Right, so we get the big boost to morale on the boss there. We're just gonna start chipping ours down with all the auto casting. Cool. Ling is gonna start, and she's going to remove the breaks, fill our morale, and purifying. That's going to give us more morale and get us to 0. Right. There we go. Sky is going to shift, put accuracy down on the boss and get a stack. Louise is going to shift, and she's going to break. She's going to gun imperil, break, and then use just whatever skills. It's not terribly important to not chain, but you don't want to do over 100 million damage in a single turn if you do the boss counters, and it's not like end of the world, but you don't really want to if you don't have to. Lara's going to Calamity Border, get a little bit of morale. Kresnik's going to Arcane Stimulant, get a lot of morale. Chow is going to Guard Dog to cover, Kind Protector to active provoke, and Focused Inspiration for the unremovable buffs and mitigations. And that's going to put us about here, 98%. There we go. Chow's going to dodge a lot of stuff and get hit a bunch of times, but the morale gains are not that bad, and he's going to counter a bunch of times with Blizzard Orb and Cypher's Coat and Looming Wrath. And I'm leaving my cursor right there to show where the morale gauge was before Chow started countering. Just so you can see how much Chow really gains from this. It's hard to remember sometimes just how much Chow does for morale gain. That's a lot gained. And I haven't even done my autos yet. Look at that. Keep going. Keep going. Thank you. Okay. So here's where my strategy, if I had a way to do this, would differ. At this point, if I had the ability to survive past turn 2 without Kresnik, I would take Kresnik out and put in like Elena to like have a bigger resistance buffs and dispels and just like kind of the things that she does in her shift form, like the morale gain. But the boss starts doing accuracy buff for the next few turns, the next 2 turns, in fact, and its physical attacks are absurd. So the best way to survive it reliably is to use Kresnik's light imbue on the boss, or you can use Mirage skills, but it's variable. There's a chance that it's not going to work, and so rather than try and run this a million times with the hope that I might survive with Mirage skills, I haven't yet. I've done it a few times, and I just can't get it to work. I'm settling for the fact that this is where my score is going to be. So turn 2, we're going to do a little bit more of the same. We're going to remove all the imperils that we just got. We're going to Blithe for morale, and then we're going to break the boss to queue up our triple cast, and just to break the boss. Sky is going to get another stack of her LB and put the accuracy down buff on the boss, but it's not going to matter as much because the boss is going to have accuracy up. Okay, Louise is just going to use some of her skills. She's going to put the gun imperil back on, just kind of get us ready to go. Lara is going to put our buffs back on for resistances. Look at that beautiful morale gauge go. Chow, because he got dispelled, has to put his guard dog and kind protector back up, and because I can't use this, because it doesn't matter, it's undispellable, so the buffs are still there. We're gonna put Guardian's Blessing on instead, and that is going to boost our resistance to breaks. Okay, and Kresnik does his cheat skill to imbue the boss with light. Everybody on the team is going to have light resistance and enough to survive the attacks. And so here we go. 61%. We're doing pretty good on the morale gain based on my runs. Boss does a bunch of goofy stuff. Xiao takes stuff very small amount of hits. That was a physical hit. As you see, everybody got hit, and then some people got healed. Yeah, that's a physical hit. So that turn, I would have taken 2 AoE physical hits. I think I saw 2, which if I did not have the light amp up and I didn't have Mirage, it would have totally wiped me. Now, the problem is that the boss could do tons and tons of those. The boss could choose to do 5 of those in a single turn and burn all of my stacks of Mirage, and then, you know, I would get killed by that, and so that would be the end of the run on turn 2, which is really annoying. So that's where my struggle is, because I don't have the EX levels to there's not a reliable way to survive that other than Kresnik or Mirage, or other than Kresnik really, and Mirage is too unreliable, so I can't really justify putting in higher EX level units. If I had EX3 Chow, if I had EX3 Lara, if I had EX3 Sky, which I will have the next time we get a shard dungeon, or if I get a random copy of Sky, then I would be in a little bit better place to be a little more flexible, but I am not currently. So there it is. Rant over. Ling is going to shift up, and she's going to give everybody fire, and give Beast Killer buff, and Celestial Dance to give some stacks of Mirage, as well as keep the triple cast going. Another divergence that I do from Sinzar's guide is, instead of shifting down and using some of Sky's breaks and other skills, I'm gonna just get another stack of the LB, which kind of helps guarantee that I can get the damage that I need on the burst turn, because we're stacking up. Louise though is gonna shift down, and she's going to Fire Starter, Heavy Firepower, Tactical, and Power Boost. Another difference that I do is just to kind of keep pushing the morale. I'm going to do 3 hits here. Instead of 1 hit of Hot Shot, I do 3. There we go. Very minor boost, but it's every boost counts, right? We're going to go ahead and do Supplement here. No. Antioxidant for the better element resistance. There we go. And Xiao is going to Holy Flame on Sky, Loyal Hearts for the immunity buff, and True Guardian for some more morale. %, so we're doing good. Minimal damage taken. Enough for Chow to do a little bit of his thing. Okay. And we start doing all of our auto casting, which takes us down to pretty close to 0. So we netted, you know, we're right on the threshold there. Because we're right on the threshold, Sky will do Blithe, Ferocity, and Celestial Combo. And that's going to push us down quite a bit. There we go. Sky is going to shift down and use Tyvus' Spirit. Louise is going to quad. She's going to incapacitate the target. She's going to Heavy Firepower, Diverse Arsenal for killer buff for everybody, and Power Boost. Just to make sure we're ready to go. Lara is going to speed run and use all of her skills. Chow is going to shift, turn into a wizard, and he's going to do Prosperous Light, Bestowment of Courage, and Chow Chow Condemnation twice. All right, and the important thing to note is that we are below the threshold. I can kind of see the yellow. It's kind of floating right in here. So I am below the threshold, so we are going to get our big buff skill on the next turn, which is important. Especially because Kresnik is going to then, he's going to go ahead and push us even further with Remedy and Supplement for a little more gain, as well as AoE re-raise, which sometimes we need and sometimes we don't. That's the RNG factor here. How far did we get? We got to 10%. So I have done at most on the burst turn. I have done at most 2.8 billion. So we will see how much we do with only 10%. The time I did 2.8 billion, I had really good variance, and I had the morale gauge pushed all the way down to 0. But this time I did not for some reason. Just, you know, the number of, it's kind of RNG dependent on the number of counters that Chow does. But I have done it. Did it on stream the other night when I got my perfect score. Volatile. Right. Might of the Dragon. Might of the Dragon. So we'll see how much damage we do. I have done a perfect score on this. I'll show you in just a second. If this doesn't end up working out. Okay. Buffs, of course, always. Now, I'm pretty sure the boss has blind resistance right now. Yep, he's got resistance to blind for one more turn, so it's not worth it to go ahead and use this skill, because it's not going to work. So we will just go ahead and cast Chow's Limit Burst, send everybody else. See how much we did? 2.5. So that's enough. We managed to do enough to perfect score. That pushed the morale a little bit. Because you cross the threshold, the boss does nothing, which interrupts him getting his accuracy buff. So we're in good shape there. So this now becomes a game of survival. Turn 6. It can be a little rough because at this point the boss might do a whole bunch of Mystic Waves and just totally wipe Chow. Because Chow does not have the passive provoke hat that you get from Clash of Wills, because I don't have enough shards for it, or Xenostone, yeah, for it. There's some RNG. So if the boss does wipe Chow and Chow comes back, Chow will not have 100% provoke, which might mean that some of the other units get hit and with single target stuff, and that could wipe them. So this becomes a game of survival at this point. But sometimes I'm okay and sometimes I'm not. It'll be fine. We're going to be just fine. We can't do it yet. Sky can't do it yet. So to help us with survival, we have to have a couple of things in place. We have to have Dragon Dancer to fill up other people's limit bursts, because we're going to do a little bit of damage on this turn. The boss has dispelled us, so we don't have our Hunter buff there. Actually, let me look and see where we're at. So Lara needs to get a little closer with her limit burst. To help us with that, we're going to have, before we do anything else, we're going to do Firestarter for Fire Amp, Gun Imperil, and then we're going to break the boss, and then I'm going to use Ionic Fire Blaster. Hopefully Lara will get a couple crystals to fill her limit burst. If not, then the Ionic Fire Blaster will help a little bit, and that's going to determine what we're going to do next. Of course she doesn't get any crystals, so we're going to take a chance here, and I can't remember exactly how much this does, but we're going to do Dragon Dancer, we're going to do Hunter Stance, And then we don't need Blaze right this moment. The boss is not going to be imperiled, but that's going to be okay. And we're gonna go ahead and do Dance of Ferocity just to make sure we're capped off. Yeah, see, I didn't make it, so the Dance of Ferocity does cap us, and now she's full. This is gonna let us do Volatile Ammo to Fire Imperil the boss, because we did not Fire Imperil, but we are all imbued because of the Fire Crystal. See the Moogle floating in the background, and that way that will allow us to imperil the boss to do as much damage as we can on this turn to help push. What I would love to have done, if she was closer in Limit Burst, would be to have used Refreshing Twirl instead of Dance of Ferocity, and that would have given everybody stacks of Mirage to help survive this turn a little more reliably, but it will be okay. So let's see here. Yep, we're just bursting with Blue Wave for Kresnik and then Volatile Ammo for Lara. That's enough. That'll get us close enough. Chow's gonna downshift, and we just have to be close enough to where like we can do some damage the next turn and wipe it out. Guard Dog, passive active provoke, focus inspiration again to get those buffs back. We don't have, the boss is already blind, so we don't need to worry about it. There we go. Did we hit 0 morale? We hit 0 morale. Plus, if Chow survives this, he will build a gauge even further. Mystic Wave, come on. Come on. Don't die. So many attacks, but we're fine. So this should definitely push us to maximum morale gain. We should be fine. And everyone survived. Okay. Totally good. Totally good. So we'll go ahead and use all our buffs just because they're there. Make sure we're all in good shape. We are. We have to, on this turn, re-imbue ourselves with fire because Louise's only lasts for one turn for everybody. So we'll use Blaze of the Phoenix, and then we will use... everybody's full. So we'll use Blaze of the Phoenix and Dragon Dancer just because. No, we'll do Hunter. I know I don't need it, but we'll just do Hunter just because. So that way everybody's imbued with fire. Boss is imperiled with fire. Lara does not have any more volatile, so she was Queen of the Jungle. Louise can quad Bolting Strikes into her Magnus to cap. Sky can cap. And Kresnik, because I'm not doing any Stardust Ray, we will go ahead and Blue Wave, and then Celestial Rebuke just to cap it off. So we'll do him first, and then everybody else. This should be the end of the boss. We're not worried about how much damage we do, just that we get to the end. Because the last two turns are a little hairy. Yeah, 1.3, not that much. We don't care. It's fine. That's the difference between having Tyvus's spirit running and Chow not having his cooldown skills from his shift form. Okay, so perfect score in every category with 245 mods. Level 99. Okay. Damage breakdown. So who is the winner here? Lara. Sky, super good. Chow, not slouching, right? but Chow's main role, of course, is doing all that morale filling and countering and stuff like that. Louise also not the best, but not slouching. Kresnik we expected. Ling does not do a whole lot other than buffs and stuff like that. So yeah, Lara, Sky, I'm so ready for you to be EX3 in the next time we get the Shard Dungeon. So please, Shard Dungeon soon. Also, I know that you can get Kresnik from the Obnixis shards, but I am currently sitting at like 3 out of 100 fragments for him, so getting one copy out of there is not going to help me right now, so I'm not doing that just yet. And also I do want to get both copies of the materia that's in there, the one that boosts resistances. So there it is. So that is an example of how I managed to get the rank that I have. The reality is, I'll go to manage party here. Since EX1, 2, 2, and 2, I can only get to 11. And since there's not a reliable way to survive without Kresnik, yeah, you could mirage it, but even still, me having the only way that I could do that realistically is if I took, with units that I have, if I took Kresnik out and swapped in Elena, I'm thinking, and if I took Louise out and swapped in Tiana, and was able to get Chow to EX3. So the only way that'd be the only way, because my main damage dealers, right, I cannot remove them. So yeah, there's a lot of ifs in that statement. And if the only way that works is if I can survive with all of the mirages that she gives. So there it is. There's my run. There were a few differences from Sinzar's version. I kind of combined a little bit of Sinzar's actions with Livedili's actions to get an extra stack of Sky's Limit Burst, for example. But Lara is still the queen of this realm for sure. Yeah, if you like that, if it's helpful, I'm glad, and I hope you come back for more. I'll be putting out another video doing some stuff with Chow, because I've been kind of playing around with Chow on different trials and stuff to see where Chow can just like go in and nuke it in one hit. And I've been able to do that with a few of them, so I'm going to show some of those in another video later this week. And then I hope you come out to watch us on Twitch on Thursday, wherever we get playing through whatever new content that we get on Thursday, which should be exciting. We have not gotten the news update yet, so I'm looking forward to it. But if there's any chance in there where I get, if I get a single copy of Kresnik or Chow, maybe some changes will happen and I can try and push for a harder score. Or if there turns out to be another way to survive this boss without Kresnik or a Mirage, then I will definitely try for a little harder. But I still need to get Chow to EX3 in order to be able to do anything if I'm gonna swap out people. So for right now, this is what I've got. See you Thursday over on Twitch, and see you Friday for this week's Ask an Old Mog video. See you then. Bye.